Hello? What's wrong, honey?
I'm so sorry to call you like this suddenly. Actually, I got in an accident and hit me.
What? Are you okay?
Yeah, for now, I'm okay. But I fractured my arm.
I see. I'm really worried about you, but I'm sorry. I'm currently on my business and can't really go back home suddenly.
Yeah, I know. So please don't worry so much about.
I'm really sorry.
I felt a little sad when my husband told me he couldn't come visit me because of his business trip. But I told myself that he had no choice since he was 2 worlds away from me. My name is Lydia. I am 27 years old and I have a boyfriend named Austin who I've been dating for 2 years. I first met Austin through work since I was working in the same department at the same company. He is 2 years older than me and was when I first joined the company. I was attracted to him because of his good teaching skills, and he was also good at catching people's attention with his storytelling skills. Then later on, he had asked me out in dates, and we naturally started. And 2 years passed in the blink of. And just recently, Austin proposed. I was very happy and said yes, but there is a small problem. And that's what Austin wants me to do, which is to stay at home and be a full-time housewife when we get married. And on top of that, he wants us to his parents at their house. With that, I wondered if I should a proposal on marrying him, even though I had already accepted approval saying yes right away this important and critical question. And after thinking about it all night, I finally decided to mail my letter. I love him, and it's not like I'm loving him because of that. So, upon Austin's request, I decided to leave the company where I had worked for years and become a full-time homemaker, living with Austin's parents, John, at their house made me really anxious until the very last minute. That was because I had only met them once before Austin and I got married, and when my parents and Austin's parents met, so I had never seen them together. Besides, I've heard so many stories of issues where the mother-in-law bullies the wife on a daily basis. I didn't even want to think about it, but for some reason, I kept on seeing kind of issues on the news or in the media, and they made me more and more anxious. And finally, life with John and Kate had begun. Despite all my worries and anxiety, both John and Kate were surprising me. Kate patiently taught me how to do chores, and I was able to learn the basics of being a full-time housekeeper without any stress. And John always had a smile on his face, not at all bossy like how some fathers-in-law can be, as they can be the boss of the house, but he was more like an equal partner in our marriage. Rather, he made me feel very comfortable as we ate meals together because he would casually talk to me and we'd just have pleasant conversations. And most importantly, both John and I get along very well. So overall, it's just a great atmosphere in the house for us. Because of this, my husband is also just gentle and kind to me. I felt I had married into a very good family. With this, I truly felt happy to my husband. After a year of living, such a happy was decided at work that my husband on a business trip. It was the first time for him to go business trip since we got married. Didn't really surprise me, as it was something I had expected. It was a job that required on-site work, and I had been on several business trips. I was working for the company as he said he was going on a business trip to another city and would be staying there for a couple of days. Thinking how much I missed the days when on business trips, I helped my prepare for his trip. My husband seemed to be excited, as it was his first business trip in a long time.
Are you That excited to go on a bus trip, honey?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I have the chance to eat some differ of food, you know. Oh, and I'll make sure to buy some of your sovereigns, Lydia.
Oh, come on now. It's not like you're going there to travel as a tourist. It's a business trip, honey. But I'll even be looking forward to the...
Good. Expect something yummy and nice.
My husband woke up on the day of his trip and left home early in the morning.
I really wonder if Austin understands that this is part of his job.
Well, I remember that when I worked at that company, Austin did his work really well, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
I spent my first day without my husband having such a conversation with Catherine. The bed that I usually share with Al feels very spacious and huge because sleeping alone now. This is going to last for 2 or 3 days. I felt lonelier than I had expected. Oh, what am I thinking about? I don't mean to be that type of woman who's a pain in the ass. I decided to go to bed quickly without thinking too much about it. But the next morning, I woke up early, though I didn't have to make my husband's lunch. I thought about going to sleep once, but I was somehow unable to get back sleep, even though I was pretty tired. Since I couldn't get to sleep, I had no choice but to go to the living room. I had a conversation with John, who morning person and wakes up early, began talking to him, my drowsiness away. Then I saw John off to work with Kate.
Oh, today is the day when the supermarket sells meat at a discounted price, right?
Oh, you sure about that? Thank you. That would be helpful.
I had nothing to do, so I decided to grocery shopping in the morning. I was pedaling my bike to the nearby supermarket, feeling the wind on my face when something unexpected happened. Just as I was about to cross the busy traffic light, I collided with a car that had ignored the light. I was knocked off from my bike and the ground, and the impact of hitting the car made me unconscious. And before I knew it, I was on the hospital room.
Oh, Lydia. Oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad you're okay now.
Kate, I've edited your post. Please check it out. Where am I?
You got hit by a car and got unconscious and were taken to the hospital in an ambulance.
Then the memories came back to me a bit. Then I noticed that my arm was a lip. I looked closely and saw that I had it.
Your injuries are not really critical, but your right arm is fractured, and the diagnosis is that you need to stay in hospital for a while, taking antibiotics.
Oh, is that so?
Apparently, according to Kate, the car ran the red light and hit her as she was on her way to meet a client. I regret a little thinking that I should have gone to the supermarket in the morning rather than in the afternoon, because it wouldn't have happened.
Oh, yeah. Could you try to call Austin, Lydia? I tried to call him, but my calls you get through to him.
Oh, okay, I will try to call him.
I moved to a place where I could make calls and called my husband.
But I fractured my arm.
See, I'm really worried about you, but I'm sorry. I'm currently on my business trip and can't really go back home soon. I'm really, really sorry.
I felt a little sad when my husband told me he couldn't come visit me because of his business trip, but I told myself that he had no choice since he had to work. To be honest, I wanted him to cancel his business trip right away and be with the hospital.
Were you able to be in touch with all?
Yes. He got worried when he heard about happened, but because he's at work business trip, he can't really come.
My God, what is wrong with him? When his own wife is out here being hospitalized.
Well, it's not like my injuries were so bad. It's okay.
Kate then turned the TV on while Hay unconvinced look on her face. It was in the afternoon, and the newcomer had already been there an hour or more. My mom and I always used to watch that program, and the weatherman was reporting from a city where the temperature had reached 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow,
It's still very hot here. Even autumn is just around the corner. I see everyone wearing just shirts and sandals because of the heat.
The weatherman was walking through that looked like a tourist location area while saying that. Then I spotted a familiar man on the TV.
Is that Austin?
Apparently, Kate noticed that the P. Austin too. So what I had seen was not a mistake. That shoulder bag he has was the one for him in his suitcase. And then I saw on the TV that my husband was holding hands with a young woman never seen before while looking at his phone. I wondered if they were looking for some tourist spots to go to. If a stranger just saw this on the internet, they would think we were just a friendly couple on a trip. I quickly got my phone ready and turned on the TV screen while Austin and his girl were on the screen. At this point, I was glad that I was left-handed because my left arm wasn't fractured, able to quickly prepare my phone. As Kate watched the TV screen, she saw that idiot. What was he doing?
Oh, Lydia, I'm really sorry about our son.
It's not your fault, Kate, so please apologize.
Later on, my parents also arrived at the hospital, and Kate was the first to apologize to them, saying, "I'm really sorry that my son did this to your daughter."
Did the accident happen because of Austin?
Oh, no, that's not really the reason I'm apologizing.
The exchange between my parents and I was both upset about my accident, but also that Austin had been having an argument with his friend, which looked a little hilarious to watch. I explained it to my parents, who calmed down, and Kate apologized again to them.
I will make sure that my son will take responsibility for this.
John then arrived, and a discussion between Austin's parents, my parent. For now, I'm discussing getting a divorce from my husband so that he can pay alimony. My parents did get the message that parents were decent people, so they that angry with them. After that, I was discharged from the hospital without any issues after a thorough examination. And just around the same time, my husband came back home from the business trip. Oh, that's wrong. I meant the affair with his mistress.
I'm home. Oh, Lydia, is your arm okay?
My husband sees my cast looking all while saying that.
If it's just my arm, then it's fine.
What do you mean? Is there anything wrong or elsewhere?
Well, if I had to say it, I'd say that there's something wrong with your head.
Excuse me?
How could you go on a business trip with a mistress while your wife was in an IQ and could have died?
Affair? Whoa. What are you even talking about? I was on the business trip, you know? I would never cheat on you, and I see even go sightseeing these 3 past day first place.
You know, you really should stop playing dumb.
Whoa, what are you even saying, Mom?
Then, what the hell is this, huh?
I showed him the photo of the TVC taken with my phone.
This is you, right? And the other girl is a girl I've before. Since this was caught on live TV, it went viral while you were on your so-called bucket list trip. You even held hands with her, being like that.
My husband's face turned pale, but when I showed him that photo and told him what had happened, he was furious.
This is a test. This is all a misunderstanding. This female colleague who went on a trip with me was saying her hands were shaking.
The weatherman on that live program said something about how the temperature was over 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you mean that she has a condition where she still feels real even when it's really hot or something?
I'm sorry. Actually, I have no idea why, but that likes me. I was so stressed because I had a business trip with her and she held my hand.
Oh, really? She forced you, huh?
Yeah, that's it. You're the only one for me, Lydia. I was really getting annoyed by that no.
After my husband said that, Kate slapped him right across the face.
Mom, I'm so sorry.
I had no idea you were such a lying.
What do you mean by that? I'm not lying.
You lied about the business trip. I already contacted the company. I told them I was in an accident and asked them to send someone from your company to visit me at the hospital. But I was told by the company that days of leave,
My husband began to tremble, and he didn't know what to say.
So that means that everything you write now is all a lie, right?
My husband, probably feeling desperate, got down on his knees and apologized.
I'm sorry. Was being seduced.
John, Kate, and I questioned him about his mistress. It turns out that his mistress was an employee who had just joined the con year, and my husband was her first mentor. In other words, my husband was just so quick in getting involved with the girl he got to mentor. After Kate slapped Austin, John had also slapped him on his other cheek.
Lydia was such a wonderful wife too. She worked so hard around the house. I don't consider you my son anymore. Get out of here right now.
And just like that, my husband was kicked out of his parents' place. After that, with John's help, the divorce went smoothly. I filed for alimony against my ex-husband's mistress. They both received a pay cut in the but many of my acquaintances were in the same department as them. So both Austin and his mistress Cor received the cold shoulder from the colleagues, and in the end, Austin voluntarily. As for his mistress, she had just graduated from university, and if she quit, her career would be damaged. And since she had no money to pay the alimony, she had to continue working at the same pay rate. So it seems like she has to put up with and keep working while getting the cold shoulder from everyone in the department. Austin supposedly changed jobs, but his salary is lower than his previous job at the company he now works for has terrible working conditions. So he has no time to play around, and income goes to the alimony, so his a living hell. Well, I have no sympathy for him at all, because he deserved it. On the other hand, I found a new room. I am currently working hard and enjoying life as a single person. By the way, Kate and I have become good friends and really close since we occasionally go out to cafes and dinner. I wonder why such kind parents like Kate gave birth to a son who is so special. But I would like to thank my ex-husband just a little for letting me meet John.
There are men who try to get ahead in the workplace. And these kinds of people seem really kind and gentle, but they can betray you just like that. If Austin was going to cheat on his wife, he shouldn't have proposed and got married at all. But, well, Lydia became friends with her, so maybe it all worked out for the best in the end. I hope Lydia will find a wonderful future.
Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.